one of my all-time favorite things to create with. It's not napkins this time, it's fabric. We're going to be playing with fabric, specifically this beautiful red and white stripe. Kind of looks like a ticking, and this really cute star fabric. It almost kind of has a denim look to it. So I really love this. So we're going to be working on top of a pillow form. Okay, a pillow form. So this is a pillowcase that is only 12 by 12. It is the cutest size, you guys. It's only 12 by 12. So I think you'll like this size. It's not a super big pillow. We use this pillow covering. We use this covering. It's canvas, by the way. We use it in the Napkin Club a lot because it's got a really nice sturdy canvas to it, so we can create on it. They're great for painting if you like to do stenciling or anything like that. Vinyl would be great too, but also fabric. Okay, so I do have a fabric fan club. My lovely assistant, Cheryl McCarson, is here today, and so she'll be posting some links. If anyone's interested in the fabric fan club, we would love to have you. And these are actually fabrics that were featured in our last bundle. So yeah, they're going to be super fun for us to create with. The other thing I'm going to be working with today is obviously we need something to put inside of this. So it is a 12 by 12 insert, a 12 by 12 pillow form insert that will just go right up into the canvas. And what's great about this is you can have one of these and you can create several of these for the season and then just switch them out. Just pop this one into the next for the next holiday or the next season, anything like that. So she'll be posting some links to some of these items. And if you have any questions, she's right there ready to help and answer those questions too. So thank you, Cheryl, for being here today. So are you guys ready to get started? Yes, I am. Yes, we do sell this. This is, again, 12 by 12. It has an exposed zipper. We're going to make sure today that our zipper is at the bottom, okay? Sometimes in the past, I've done it where the zipper's on the side and then we make tassels or we hang things off of the zipper pull. But for today's project, it's going to be best for it to just stay at the bottom, okay? So I'm ready to get started. And as I mentioned, again, no sew. This is just strictly a fabric fun project. You don't have to stitch a thing. If you are interested in the Fabric Fan Club, we do sometimes do fabric fun projects like this. We also sometimes do some stitching projects, but they're all hand stitching, specifically what I like to call freestyle stitching, which to me is doodling with thread. Okay, we're just doodling with thread. It's really, really fun. So, but no worries about that today. Nobody has to thread a needle today. Nobody has to get out a sewing machine. This is all just a fabric. I am going to be using a little bit of crocheted lace, I think. And I may be using a couple little doilies and maybe some buttons. But everything I'm using today is going to be glued onto this project. So let's talk about that really quick. Now, I'm just going to be using good old-fashioned hot glue, okay? Some of you out there, especially if you're in my Fabric Fan Club, you may want to use your fast grab fabric glue. I would recommend like Fab-Tac. That's something we also carry. But sometimes just your good old glue gun, you know, it's handy, it's quick, it's fast, and it's really easy and fun to use, okay? But you can use either if you prefer. Now, I do not plan, this is important, I do not plan to wash this pillowcase. Okay? This is a decorative item. I'm considering this decorative. I don't really have any plans to actually wash this. In fact, I'm probably going to put it out on my outdoor patio on one of my couches or chairs out there, something kind of fun. It could be cute to have indoor or outdoor. I would make sure if it's outdoor that it's covered. Okay, we want to make sure that it's covered. So hot glue is going to be what I'm using today. And I'm ready to get started. All right. So I'm going to switch my screen so that you can really see what's happening on my table here. And we're going to get going with today's craft and chat. All right, so I think you see there's some buttons over here. This is for another project. We're not using that today. No paint, no Mod Podge, none of that. So this is my pillow form, okay? And again, it is 12 inches by 12 inches. It is such a cute size for a little accent pillow. Really, really cute. We are going to make sure that our zipper is at the bottom. All right, zipper at the bottom. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut some strips for our flag inspired pillow cover here. So I'm going to grab this fabric. I love this fabric. I think it's so cute. This was one that was in our Star Spangled Summer fabric bundle, which we shipped out last month. And I'm going to come in kind of in between these stripes. And of course, so you can use whatever fabric you want for this. I suppose you could also use ribbon. And I'm going to tear this end piece off because sometimes the end pieces, they can tear a little bit wonky depending on how they're cut. And now I'm going to go to this piece. So I want you to see that when we tear this, it's going to get stringy and fringy, and we love that. Okay. I'm going to hopefully teach you to embrace that. We actually like that look. It's going to give our pillow cover a lot of texture. Okay. So we have to kind of decide, and I'm just in looking at this, I'm trying to decide, okay, is that wide enough? Do I want to make it a little bit wider? And I actually think I do. So let's pull this one. This one's a little bit wider, and let me take a measurement for you just so that you'll know. So I'm roughly trying to get these about an inch. They could be a little over an inch. This is an ish type project, but let's make sure they're no less than an inch. Okay, let's make sure they're at least an inch wide. They could be a little bit over that too, but let's make sure they're at least an inch. And all we have to do for this, you guys, is just simply make a little snip. Here, let me do it here to show you. I'm just going to make a little snip. Let's do a couple of these while we're at it. I'm doing it right kind of in the center of this white band. And then just tear. I love tearing fabric. I think it's really fun. Something kind of empowering about it. All right, and I don't really want to tear more than we need. We'll tear some more if we realize that we need it. Okay, now go in and kind of remove some of these threads, the little threads, the little strings here, and that's just going to give us some really nice fringe, nice frayed edge, kind of frayed and fringy. It's going to be very cute. All right. Okay, there we go. So now we kind of have some of these strips worked out for ourselves here. Sometimes the fabric will kind of roll on itself, and that's okay. Don't worry about that. We'll come in and fix that. And then we also need then a square for the stars. And to kind of figure out the proportion for this, I was just cutting a piece of cardstock to try to decide, okay, about how big do I need this to be? I think that this is a little small. Okay. So that means I'm going to cut my fabric a little bigger than this. Okay. And let me cut it a little bigger, and then we'll measure it to be sure we're happy. I'm going to cut it a little larger, and we'll probably wind up trimming it down a bit. I'll give you a measurement here in just a second. All right. So that to me is better, but maybe we need to trim it down just a little bit more. So I'm going to say, let's do a 6 by 6. And I'm just going to make myself some little registration marks here at 6 inches. I'm using a friction pin. A friction pin is great because it disappears with heat. So I'm just kind of making myself a few lines here. This will be nice for those of you that maybe don't have like a cutting mat or a rotary cutter. It's okay. It's great to come in. We can come in and kind of just create our lines. Let's see how we're doing here. So 6 inches about right there. And we'll just wind up kind of squaring this whole piece off. So even if all you have is a ruler, you can do this. And we're just going to line up our little tick marks. And again, this can be kind of an ish project. Let's go ahead and cut these two sides. We're going to run something around this square too. So let's shoot for something around 6 by 6 inches. Okay. Okay. All right. I think we're good to go. All right. So this piece will wind up going here. I think everybody can see that okay. Right. And don't bring it all the way to the edge. Can you see how there's going to be a little bit of this showing? A little bit of this edge showing right here. My stars are kind of on a they're kind of like on a diagonal right now, which doesn't bother me. If you want to switch it around a little bit, you absolutely can. Remember, we are going to run something around this edge, so we want to kind of bring it away from the outside edges just a little bit. I'm going to say maybe, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch to half an inch, something like that. Okay. And let's go ahead and kind of lay out what this is going to look like. All right, so let's imagine that we're going to put a strip right here. Kind of have to lay them out just to be sure what it's going to look like. Do we need, how many stripes do we need? Do we need more stripes than we already have? That looks good. So 3 stripes kind of along the bottom. And then we're just going to kind of skip a space. Skip another space. Actually, we can use some of these too. And let's make sure we have one kind of coming up at the top. Yes. So about like that. That looks really good, don't you think? Okay, so let me just get rid of some of this excess, and then we're going to cut these exactly to the size that we want them to be. Okay, but we're going to do that as we glue things down. All right, so I'm kind of feeling good about the spacing on this. You guys can play around with your spacing if you feel like it needs to be different, but I think that's looking pretty good. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take my friction pin, again, friction pin that disappears with heat, and I'm going to make myself some little registration marks. These are just little marks around each corner, just so I know kind of where that square is going to go. Okay, I want to know where that square is going to go. I'm realizing now that I may need this piece to be a little bit longer. Yeah, okay, I cut this one down a little too short. All right, so what I'm going to do is on these pieces, we're actually going to go inside that line just a little bit. Just inside that line, and if you need to, we can always do this. Like if it's just hard for you to see, you could do this. If you don't have a pen, you could even use like maybe just lightly with a pencil, or maybe even just some tape. Actually, tape would be good, and you could take the tape right back off. All right. You guys ready to go for it? All right, here we go. So I'm going to start with a little line of hot glue, right here, right inside that line, just a tiny bit. It doesn't have to be much, just a tiny bit. We just want that square to kind of cover up that edge. And then this is what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm going to what I call drizzle and drag. So I'm kind of drizzling out my hot glue, but I'm also dragging it through the hot glue at the same time. So my tip is kind of dragging along the canvas because I don't want this hot glue to be really thick. I want it to be spread out and thin. Okay. And we're just going to focus on just that for right now. Don't worry about the edges at the moment. Now let's go ahead and place our next one out. And again, I'm eyeballing this. And it's okay to do that. So again, drizzle and drag, drizzle and drag. I kind of go back and forth. If you're using fabric glue, same kind of thing. Just use the tip of the glue to kind of just drag the glue across so it's not super thick. And it's going to love this canvas. Whether you're using hot glue or fabric glue, I'm telling you, it's going to love this canvas. So I'm just kind of a zigzaggy motion. I'm going to go backwards, forwards. Got to move kind of fast because we don't want our glue to dry before we get our fabric strip across. Okay, now we're going to come down here and do this. Now this one's a little easier because we're going to pull it halfway over. And then start our drizzle and drag. Oops. All right, and now we'll do the other half. And just smooth that right across. All right, let's move on. I got to grab some more glue sticks. Super fun and easy, easy, easy. How many of you love playing with fabric? I love fabric. I love a lot of things. I'm a creative enthusiast. I love to create with so many different types of things. But I really love my fabric. I think it's because I love texture so much. So that's why I like tearing it. I like stitching on it. I like to just make things with it. So definitely let us know in the comments if you want information about the Fabric Fan Club. And Cheryl will get that link posted for you. We have a little intro special right now. We have some fun things going on. So remember, I'm going back over it because I want to make sure everything stays nice and hot. And as you can see, I'm moving, I'm moving fairly quickly. No such projects are really fun because pretty much anybody can do them. They're not hard projects to do. And you're going to love this. You're going to love seeing how this turns out. Now this one, my fabric's rolling a little bit, so I'm just going to take a tiny little bead of hot glue and push the fabric back down. I am using, just so y'all know, I am using a precision tip. Do you see? It's a Surebonder that has a precision tip. That is awesome because I can really control how much glue is coming out. So now I'm going to turn the pillow and I'm going to go over here to these edges. So it's one of those things where I can decide, okay, do I want to just kind of wrap it around to the edge? But the main thing is I need to be sure that everything's kind of the same length, right? And I think that pretty much does it. So I'm going to, again, precision tip here. I'm going to put just a little glue underneath that edge. You can even wait a second before you kind of wrap it around. I think my fingers have just gotten numb to hot glue. Or if you're using your fabric glue, you'll be fine. But yeah, you can even just wait a minute. It doesn't have to be super hot. It just still has to be sticky. Okay. So I've just wrapped those around the edge. So they're not over the seam. There's still seam there. They're not over the seam. They're just kind of wrapped around that edge. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So first things first, though, we're just going to kind of give these a haircut and make sure that they're all about the same width, or the same, width. And then same thing, I think I'll do a couple at a time. A little bead of hot glue, and we're going to wrap it around the edge. Just pinch it down well with your fingers. It's going to stay. If it doesn't stay, that means either your hot glue dried too fast or you didn't get enough. So just go back and add some more. And don't worry about all these little glue hairs and stuff. We'll be able to zap our pillow with our heat gun, and those little glue hairs will all just disappear. They'll just evaporate. Okay. All right, everything's looking good. And again, I'm not going over the seam. I'm just kind of going up to that little seam there. Okay. All right, we have that part done. So we have some stripes. Now I want to add a little something else to this. And again, because of texture, I love adding the texture. This is very similar to a pillow I did a couple years ago. And we did kind of a blast from the past post on it, and everybody just went like nutso about it. They are just so excited. So this is very similar to that pillow. I'm just using different fabrics. So I'm going to take this crocheted lace, and now I'm going to run this one in between my fabric stripes. And again, drizzle and drag. So it's just going to run kind of right in between. And again, let's just cut it off with a little extra there. We'll wrap it around. And that's going to be the cutest thing. And again, I just love that it's a 12 by 12. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Just such a cute little accent pillow. It could be cute like in the top of a basket or on a chair, even just propped, somewhere. And like I said, as long as, even if you want to have it outside, it'll be fine as long as it's covered. And, like if it's going to storm or something, I would bring it inside. And you could even do different laces on this, like different styles of crocheted lace on this would be really cute. And yes, I'm not worrying about some of my little spaces being less wide than others, because remember, I just eyeballed. Okay, now let's do this part. I also really like this because this brings in white, and my pillow cover itself is canvas. So this brings in the white, and I love whites and creams together. I don't know if you do, but I really love whites and creams, using them together on projects. All right, I'm going to go a little quicker here. We'll do some little loop-de-loop-dees here. Just lay it down into it. You're going to have some holes, you know, so just kind of let it sit there. Cute. I love it. Halfway, about halfway at a time seems to work best. If you try to do the whole thing, I'm afraid the glue will try to dry. I see you like this. It's good. All right, let's look at this up close. Look at all that pretty texture. Isn't that fun? Oh, it's adorable. All right, we're going to do the same thing over here that we did before. We're going to make sure these are cut down. I should have my other scissors over here, but for some reason I did not put them over here on my table. That's okay. I can make these work. And again, a little glue, a little glue. You can wait just a second if you need to, so you don't burn your fingers. If you have those little glue fingers, y'all ever use those little silicone fingertips? Those are great to use. A little stringy right there. Take that off. And again, don't go over the seam. You're going to go kind of up to the seam. And yeah, it might be easier to do it from the back. If that's easier for you, you can do it this way. First step is just kind of wrap them around. I'm doing them two at a time, and then just pinch them down well. I am using hot glue. So if you need to wait even just a second, like if your fingers are really sensitive to the hot glue, just wait a second. Just kind of fold them over and then come back and really pinch them down. I know there's going to be glue hairs. Look at my fingers. They're going to have glue all over them. But that is okay because we're going to get rid of that glue here in just a second. Hot glue projects are always going to have glue hairs. So just peel your fingers, peel off whatever is on your fingers, and then the glue hairs, we'll just zap those with our heat gun, and it's very simple. It's literally just doing this, and the heat just kind of disintegrates it and just kind of disappear. And then you don't have to pick them all off. Okay. All right, let's move on to this portion. Now, remember, our heat is also going to get rid of our registration marks there. Okay. Now, one thing I will tell you is that I kind of wish that I had ironed this piece before I glue it on. So if you do have an iron, if your fabric happens to be a little bit wrinkly or crinkly, I'm going to go ahead and plug in my iron real fast. Actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to show you something else. Sometimes you can actually just spritz the fabric. Like if you had a little water, you can spritz the fabric. But sometimes your heat alone will help to smooth out the wrinkles. So sometimes even a heat gun, if you just don't want to go mess with getting an iron out, we can actually just heat the fabric, and as we're heating it, we just smooth it. And that works really well. If you get like a stubborn wrinkle or something, you can always spritz it with a little bit of water. There we go, much better. Okay. All right, so this piece is going to go in here. Now remember I told you that, you know, we can kind of have the stars I kind of like the stars going at an angle here, just a little bit of an angle like that. I think it's kind of fun. They're kind of shooting off this way, but you can have yours move around however you would like. And I'm going to go ahead and trim any little, you know, little threads or anything. I am going to put something around the edges of this, but it's nice to go ahead and just trim up the threads. All right, we're going to start actually right up here at the top. And again, I'm going to drizzle and drag. And remember, we're going to go over that fabric right there. We're going to go over it just a little bit. And I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. So if you have a little extra hot glue showing, don't worry, because again, we're going to edge this out. And that also kind of takes the pressure off of everything having to be just so. And I'm going to do this kind of drizzle and drag. Same kind of technique. And I'm just going to work my way down, kind of a section at a time. Okay. So don't panic if your square looks a little off. Our ribbon's going to take care of that. We could use ribbon. We could use rickrack. All kinds of things. And I need another glue stick. And again, just smooth as we go. You know, there are situations where you could use Mod Podge for this, but just remember Mod Podge, any kind of glue that you use, whether it's Mod Podge or hot glue, fabric glue, it's going to stiffen things up a little bit. But it's still going to be flexible. Let me show you that. It's still going to be flexible, right? It's still going to be flexible. It's going to be fine. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of come around the corners. I just want to be sure the corners are really good and down. Looks like just these two need a little bit. So let's just kind of check the edges, make sure everything feels like it's really good and down. Good and secure. Cute. It's cuteness. It is cuteness. Okay, so let's talk about what's going to go around the edge here. Yeah, you have options. You have lots of options. Maybe you want to use something like rickrack, right? Rickrack would be really cute. This is a little mini rickrack. My other ribbon, hang on. I think it's in this basket over here. Yes, it is. All right, I've got some other ribbons here I want to show you that could be really cute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I have other ribbons here that could be really cute. You could do like a red, blue, and white stripe. Here, this one is kind of a more of a royal blue stripe. It has stars. I think this one's cute. This one is polka dots, right? Who doesn't love a good polka dot? Polka dots are so fun. So if you wanted to do polka dots, the thing is you've just got to be sure that you have enough to go around every edge, right? So whether you use blue, red, white, and blue, whatever it is, you're going to decide, you know, what you like and what you think is going to work best for you. I love rickrack. And if you're in the Fabric Fan Club, you already know that. You know that I just have this, I just love rickrack. I just think it's cute and it's fun and all the things. So I'm going to use rickrack. I'm going to take off a few of these little threads here, these little strings from the fabric, if you see any, because my rickrack's kind of thin. All right. So I'm going to use this. We carry some of these little mini rickracks on wooden spools. They're adorable. All right, let's start. I'm going to start down here at the bottom. So I'm going to run just a nice thin kind of a bead of glue. And I do have to work kind of quickly. Thin. This thin is going to be important. And I'm not going to try to do any kind of fancy thing for corners. I'm just not. I'm not going to try to do anything super fancy for corners. And the main thing is just kind of pushing it down. We kind of want the rickrack to be, or the ribbon, we want it to be kind of like half on, half off of our project. And then I'm going to come in and just snip this. Snip that one. I'm going to turn it upside down. So I'm going to do the short sides first. It really doesn't matter. You could do long sides first if you want to. You could even come back with another crocheted lace or something else, or jute if you want to give it more of a rustic feel. Jute could be fun. So again, I'm just going to kind of make sure that I'm kind of positioned right before it gets fully set and dry. And if you need to secure the ends, that one feels good. This one feels good. All right, those feel good. All right, let's do this end. And again, I'm not doing anything fancy on these corners, just going to overlap them. I think I am going to cut this one though first. Cut it. Let's make sure they have a nice, good, sharp cut. Put a little glue on top of that one. And again, I'm just going to bring it right up kind of the edge of the fabric. If your fabric's a little wonky, this is where you can kind of fix that. Okay, this one's still a little bit long, so let me snip that end off. And I'm going to put a little more glue right under this end. I don't want that rickrack to unravel, you know. All right, almost done. One more side to do. Again, just giving it a nice sharp cut. Yeah, if you wanted to, you could even put buttons in each corner. Like if you don't like how your corners are looking, yeah, that's something, that's a simple fix. You could put a little button or something on those corners. Adorable. So adorable. Okay, I'm going to take this a little step further, but I mean, like you could even stop right now and you've got this really cute texture fabric and lace and rickrack flag pillow. But I really also love doilies. I love doilies. And you guys, doilies they kind of resemble fireworks, don't you think? And because I have the cream canvas, right? The off-white canvas. I have a cream doily, and I have a white doily because I use the white lace. So I thought it would be kind of fun to maybe just pop a couple doilies up here. And this is something that, you know, you could add more of in here if you want to. Doilies come in all shapes and sizes. You can find, if you don't have any in your stash, you can find them a lot of times at your local craft stores. I actually get a lot of mine on Amazon because they make like bundles of like different sizes, different shapes, and color varieties. So a lot of times I'm getting mine on Amazon. They're just reproductions of doilies. So cute. So I'm going to glue one on right there. And then I'm going to have this one kind of overlap. So you're just kind of use your glue where you have the least amount of holes, right? And I'm going to have them overlap. They look like fireworks to me. How cute. And just a fun way to kind of dress up your pillow. I kind of like a mix of old and new together. And so I love adding a little bit of vintage feel to things sometimes. And then let's play with some buttons. So I pulled out some buttons here. And I was kind of like, okay, maybe we add a pop of color inside these. This one definitely, and you can decide like, okay, how big do you want to go? Do you want to go smaller? Kind of like the smaller one on this one. I'm going to do this smaller one here. Cute. We're going to do something else on top of these buttons too in just a second. And then maybe we do a bigger one. Let me see what I like. Oh, it's kind of cute. I think I'm okay with this one. So let's glue that one down in the center of that. Now, another fun thing that we can add is going to be a little bit of baker's twine. And I'm looking around on my table to see if I have some baker's twine. Okay, I don't see any right here, so maybe we'll add that afterward. But it's fun sometimes to put little ties inside. I don't put them through the button because that's really hard. It's hard to put them through the button, but we can take some twine and just tie it off in a bow and like glue it on top. And then we also, if you want to add, you know, just a little bit of softness, you could come back in, like here's that red and white polka dot. Let me just see if I'm going to like this. We could even come in with a little bit of ribbon. Oh, that's kind of cute. And tie off like a little bow or something kind of off the side if you want to. It's really up to you. If you want, how much you want to embellish. Do you want to embellish a lot? Do you want to embellish a little? Right? I'm going to see if somebody can bring me some red and white twine really quick because I do like adding that. Okay. So hold tight just a second. Can somebody bring me some red and white twine? Baker's twine, please. Thank you. Okay. I just hollered out to my girls out there. They're going to bring me some. I have some of this blue, which I think is really pretty because this is a softer blue, right, on the stars. So I do have that, but I'm kind of thinking I want red and white. We shall see how that looks. And then what do y'all think about the bow? Yes bow, no bow. The other thing you could do is just come in if you did want to add in any additional little buttons here or there. You know, you could add, I mean, you could just have fun with this and do whatever you'd like. We need some smaller ones. Thank you. Is that enough? No, bring me the thicker. I need the thicker one.
More spools anywhere in my room.
Just a scrap. Scraps are fun. This will work. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So here's what I was wanting. The red and white baker's twine. So these, it's just so cute. I love red and white baker's twine. It's one of my favorites. I like the contrast. So I'm just going to make some little bows here. Just some little bows. They don't have to be super big. Because this may be all I want to do. I may not want to add anything else. It's one of those things where sometimes I think you need to kind of live with your piece and before you add all the stuff. Plus, we want to put the pillow insert in here. And that's going to help us, too, to decide, do we think it really needs any more? All right, so I'm just gluing my bow right inside that button. So it's going to look like it's threaded through the button, but it's not, right? That's going to make it very easy on us. I'm going to tie a little knot in each tail. And then I'm just going to trim the twine a little bit further down than the knot. So it makes kind of like a little tassel. But the knot will keep the rest of the twine from completely unraveling. All right, let's do one more bow. Here, I'll hold this up so you can see. Isn't that cute? I think it's so cute. Yeah, this is going to be more of a pop than the other twine would have been. Love that. All right, let's put another little drop of glue here. Stick this down. And again, going to put a knot in each of the tails. And unravel the tails a little bit. See, I think this is cute. I don't think I'm going to add anything else, or at least not for now. I'm going to leave it just like that. Isn't it pretty? See all the texture? So guess what we get to do next? Guess what we get to do next? I know, look at my flag. Yeah, I'm wearing my flag t-shirt today from Cotton Chaos. All right, what I'm going to do next is we're going to put the insert in. And this is like one of my favorite steps, y'all, because this is when the pillow really like comes to life, right? It's going to become nice and full. Now, I want to tell you that when you put an insert, a pillow insert into a pillowcase, right? Something you're going to want to do first is really beat the pillow up, right? We really want to beat that pillow up. It's going to be better to kind of, you know, really beat it up before we put it in there, right? I was beating on this one earlier a little bit, and I'm going to take the tags off. Don't leave these tags on. I'll just get rid of those tags. Okay, so yes, we do have the 12 by 12 pillow cover, and we do have the inserts. So now I'm going to open this up. Remember, my zipper's at the bottom. And when you get ready to put this in, you're going to have to kind of have to manhandle it a little bit. You got to be the boss here. But the goal is to try to focus on these two corners. That's what I want you to focus on first, is getting the pillow up into those corners. Okay, I want to make sure that it's way up in there. And you can see nothing's going anywhere. My fabric is fine. Everything is good. And now I'm going to work my way kind of down to the bottom two corners. We want to make sure the whole thing's in the pillow, right? Isn't it cute? Do you see how it's just getting all plump? So fun. And then I'm going to just zip up the bottom. And we have a flag pillow. I know, right? Isn't it cute? It's a 12 by 12. Again, perfect size. It's such a cute little accent pillow. So fun. You can see how it's nice and fluffy. Nothing's going anywhere. You know, the glue's holding everything down. You can still kind of beat on it a little bit. You know, you can turn it over and kind of beat it from the back, but beat it as much as you can before you put it in, and that's going to help a lot. But I think these are just darling. I think it's so cute. And now we have kind of a flag version of our fabric fun pillow cover. Isn't it darling? So cute. If you want anything to sparkle, yes, you can add sparkle. And how you would do that would be just to add stickles. Let me grab some out of my drawer so I can show you. So if you want to add stickles to anything, that's fine. This is like a glitter glue. It goes fine on fabric. Maybe you want some of your doilies to sparkle a little bit. Maybe you want to put a little dot of this on each of the stars and make them sparkle. That's totally fine. So if you're a sparkly person, you can add the sparkle and just set it to the side and let it dry. Okay. So what I love about this is, you know, the flag in general. I have made seasonal flags that I like to make them on hangers, like wooden coat hangers. They're very, very cute. So even though this flag is perfect and iconic for 4th of July, for summer, this would be cute to have out all summer long. But why couldn't you make a Halloween flag pillow? Why couldn't you make a fall flag pillow or a Christmas flag pillow? So, and even apart from the flag, this is just a great size to create on. It really is. There's so many things you can do. We have napkinized them. I have painted on them. I've stenciled on them. I've done fabric fun projects, fabric glue, no-sew with them, just like we did today. And so it's really a quick project. Doesn't take a lot of time. And it's just a great outcome. Really super cute outcome.